It's almost time for the Red Sox rumor mill to really get going, and this first one, I don't know if I like it all that much. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and last night I asked you guys, do you want to talk about what happened this weekend for the Red Sox, or do you want to start talking about some news and rumors regarding the offseason? And, well, pretty overwhelmingly, you guys decided to ignore what is going on this weekend with the Red Sox, which I think was a smart decision. So instead of talking about the debacle that happened this weekend outside of the Red Sox absolutely owning that dork Garrett Cole, we're going to talk about the first real rumor surrounding the Red Sox offseason and what it means for this Red Sox team. Thank you all very much for taking a second and clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Red Sox offseason rumor mill has officially begun with an article from Ken Rosenthal where he mentioned that the Red Sox need to target a veteran right-handed hitter. Now, on the surface, that makes a whole lot of sense. Specifically, in this article, wanted the Red Sox to target Alex Bregman, which on the surface, to me, isn't the worst idea in the world at all. Bregman has been solid at the plate for basically his entire career, with his peak coming in 2018 and 2019. I don't think he'll ever get back to these levels again in his lifetime, but during that time span, man, he was incredible. A 291 average with a 409 on base percentage and a 561 slug, good for a 157 OPS plus, way above league average production by about 57%. During that time, he had more walks and strikeouts and 72 home runs in 2 seasons. But it's not like he's totally declined completely over these last couple of years. In fact, this season, he's been a pretty productive baseball player. Through 2024, he's currently hitting 256 with a 313 on base percentage and a 443 slug, good for a 114 OPS plus. So not as crazy impactful as he was in 2018-2019, but still above league average bat by about 14%. And he's still got that power stroke, hitting 23 home runs this season. That is really solid right-handed power production that the Red Sox could really use. On top of that, he is a veteran player with a long history of postseason success. He has been a guy, well, the Astros in general have been a team that has been in the postseason and will be in the postseason for the last decade or so. They have been really good for a really long time, and Alex Bregman has been a really big part of that. Getting a guy in here for the Boston Red Sox like this could be extremely important, not only because of the production that he can provide, which is probably a whole lot of production, but also because of what he means to this Red Sox clubhouse. Ken Rosenthal pointed it out. We've been pointing it out. This Red Sox team is extremely young, and it's a big reason why they were such a roller coaster ride this season, but it's also not going to get any older, really. Next year, you're going to start getting an injection of even younger players in Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Kyle Teal, Christian Campbell, and others who are going to be making their major league debut and tasked with being a big part of this team's success. Having a guy like Bregman in this clubhouse and in this lineup helps all of those guys in a whole bunch of different ways. So if we're looking at just the Alex Bregman part of this, I really like the idea of the Red Sox targeting him. But the question then becomes, how do the Red Sox fit him on this team? Because right now, the big problem is that they have a $300 million third baseman in Rafael Devers, who has been fantastic this year when he's been healthy. Lately, he's been battling through injury. I'm at the point in this season, because of everything that happened this weekend, although he still owns Garrett Cole, that dork, I think they should shut him down. I think they should make sure that he is 100% for 2025 and not try and battle through something for basically meaningless baseball in 2024, but that's besides the point. Because you got Rafi at third base, Bregman becomes a really interesting target. Ken Rosenthal's solution is to move Rafael Devers over to first base, and right there is where I kind of lose interest in this idea. Not because of Alex Bregman, but because of the fact that Rafi isn't exactly the best defender in the world at third base to begin with. He has never played first base in his entire life, even in the minor leagues at any point. And on top of that, you're talking about taking your statistical worst defender on the infield and putting him in a position where anytime a ball is hit on the ground in the infield, he is going to be a part of that play. So not only does he have to learn an entirely new position via the offseason, but you also are dealing with a guy who notoriously can make the spectacular plays, has great range, but sometimes struggles with the routine ones, having more of a chance to impact this game defensively. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, Ken Rosenthal, but there's another problem with this. The other problem with this is that the Red Sox have a first baseman there. So what do they do with Triston Casas in this reported target for the Red Sox? But before we get into what Ken Rosenthal's solution may be, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps these out a ton, and it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Let's get into what would happen to Triston Casas. Okay, so just to recap quickly, Ken Rosenthal thinks the Red Sox should take Alex Bregman, sign him, play him at third base, bring Rafael Devers over to first base, and his solution for making room over there is to trade Triston Casas for starting pitching. Now, I am a guy who's very much in the boat of, I think everyone on this team outside of Rafael Devers, just because he has that huge contract and he's the face of your team, Roman Anthony because he's the number one prospect in baseball, it's hard to find a value worth that on the open market, and Tanner Houck because of what he did this offseason, because of how desperately you need pitching, are untouchable. I think everyone else has a price on this team, and that includes Triston Casas. But the idea of trading Triston Casas for starting pitching in this scenario, to me, totally takes me out of wanting this to happen for this Red Sox team. And the biggest reason for that is because you don't have any other options at first base. Say you do put Rafael Devers over at first base, you take Alex Bregman out, and you trade Triston Casas. What if Rafael Devers gets hurt? Or worse, what if Rafael Devers simply cannot figure out that position to the point where he's basically unusable defensively for the Boston Red Sox? You don't really have a ton of options. Connor Wong can play some first base. Romy Gonzalez can play some first base, but they're not really everyday regular first basemen like a Triston Casas is. Maybe you could look to the farm system. Not really, right? Of the top 30 prospects in your system, according to Sox Prospects, the only prospect who is a first baseman by trade is Blaze Jordan. And honestly, he's more of a third baseman. I know people are super high on him, but he had a very, very mediocre 2024. I think he's more so now at this point projected to be more of a depth piece for the Red Sox than a true superstar, hitting 98 WRC+. Now, part of that was because he did go through some really gnarly injuries this season. I do think a fully healthy season from him looks a little bit better than that, but it's certainly not Triston Casas' potential. And outside of that, you've got another guy by the name of Justin Gonzalez, who's a 17-year-old out of the Dominican Summer League. So your two prospects that could man first base coming up for you are either really far away or really not at the potential level of Triston Casas. What the Red Sox do have, though, and why this really frustrates me, the idea of trading Casas instead of anyone else, is the fact that of your top 10 prospects in this system, according to SoxProspects.com, 8 of them are either middle infielders or outfielders. We are talking about 8 of the 10. That's 80% of your top 10 prospects playing one of two different positions, right? There's only so many places you can put these guys. So to me, it would make absolutely no sense in the world to trade Triston Casas, an area where you don't really have a ton of depth in, and try and figure out and play people out of position when you could just deal from the areas of depth that you have more of than I would say 99 to 100% of the rest of Major League Baseball. And they need to work from their areas of depth and not from the one guy that you have over at first base. And that's not even to mention the fact that Triston Casas had a rough year in 2024 for sure, right? This season has not looked great for him. He's been unhealthy when he's coming back. It's been a tough go since he's been back, but the potential is there for him to be one of the best first baseman hitters in the entire sport. And he's only trending upward. He's 25 years old. He's getting towards the prime of his career. We still have him under control for 5 more years to replace that with Alex Bregman, who is a solid player. He's a good player. He's a power bat. He's a solid defender. He's also 30 years old. Anything you sign him to, you're getting the back half of his career on. I don't know if I love that swap either. So what you're looking at here overall in this rumor is that you're getting rid of Triston Casas for starting pitching, which the Red Sox do need. Again, if you're going to trade Triston, it kind of has to be a perfect world scenario where you have someone that is genuinely ready to take up that mantle of first base, not Rafael Devers, who is notoriously not a great defender and who notoriously has never played an inning at first base, for Alex Bregman. The concept of this idea, the Red Sox needing getting a right-handed power bat isn't something new. The Red Sox needing veteran presence in this clubhouse isn't something new. These should absolutely be priorities for this Red Sox team coming into 2024. Those really are the two biggest priorities, right? Pitching and a right-handed power bat that potentially is a veteran that comes in here and really helps these young kids mature. Absolutely. That sounds like what you need from the Boston Red Sox, but I just don't see this as the way the Red Sox should be going. I like Alex Bregman, and I think the way you would fit him on this team is you would trade Massa and just sort of eat that contract or eat the prospects you get back and then move Rafi into a more full-time DH role. That way you could keep Triston and then trade from your areas of depth. To me, that just makes a whole lot more sense, and even if you don't think that's viable, then there's other options on the market. Teoscar Hernandez is out there. Rhys Hoskins has a opt-out that I would be shocked if he didn't take. Tyler O'Neill is a free agent that you could bring back, right? These are all veteran guys who had a really solid season, who bring right-handed power, who also wouldn't have to cause you to trade from one of the weakest areas you have in your farm system. To me, this makes absolutely no sense. Again, the concept of it makes a lot of sense. Getting a right-handed power bat should be at the top of their list, but the way Ken Rosenthal went about this, I just don't see this happening. I really don't see the Red Sox trading Casas. I don't see the Red Sox moving Rafi into another position on the field. If they are going to move him, I think we've all sort of assumed it was into a more full-time DH role, which may not be the worst idea in the world. The reason he is injured right now is because of a diving play he made in Colorado. Preventing him from doing things like that would allow you to have that bat in the lineup at a healthier rate more often for this team. That's not a terrible idea either. And Bregman himself, not a terrible idea. It's just the way you're going about it, to me, just doesn't make a ton of sense. So the first rumor of this offseason, man, I got to tell you, I don't really like it at all. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about it? Do you like this idea? Do you like the idea of the Red Sox going after Bregman and trading Triston Casas? How would you make this work? If you don't, let me know who they should target. Is there a right-handed power bat that you're saying, hey, this is the guy they need on this Red Sox team? Let me know all your thoughts on the first of the Red Sox rumor mill in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.